Let's start with the truth most people ignore. The battles we fight are rarely lost in the moment. They are lost long before they even begin. They are lost in the way we think, in the doubts we entertain, and in the stories we tell ourselves about what we're capable of. You see, the human mind is the most powerful weapon we have, but too many people wield it against themselves. They convince themselves they aren't strong enough, smart enough, or capable enough to overcome the obstacles in front of them. But what if I told you that every challenge, every setback, and every so-called impossible situation can be defeated if you have the right mindset? The first step is understanding that fear is just a symptom, not the truth. We fear failure, rejection, and uncertainty. But fear isn't a signal to stop, it's a signal to move forward with awareness. Every great leader, every successful individual, every person who has defied the odds had to confront fear. And do you know what they realized? Fear has no real power. It's just noise. Adversity, on the other hand, is a mirror. It shows you exactly who you are. When faced with obstacles, people either break or they break through. The difference isn't in talent or intelligence, it's in the mindset they adopt. If you see adversity as proof that you should quit, you will. But if you see it as an opportunity to grow, then every struggle becomes a stepping stone. Next, let's talk about detachment. Too many people are fixated on outcomes. They want immediate success, immediate validation. And when they don't get it, they feel defeated. But here's the secret. The outcome doesn't matter as much as the process. Champions aren't obsessed with winning. They are obsessed with doing the work, perfecting the craft, and showing up every single day. The results follow that. Another key shift: pay attention to your internal dialogue. The way you speak to yourself is the most influential voice in your life. If you constantly tell yourself, I can't do this, you won't. But if you train your mind to say, I will figure this out, then suddenly the impossible becomes possible. Your mindset is the architect of your reality. And finally, commitment over comfort. Growth never happens in your comfort zone. It happens in the moments when quitting seems like the easiest option, but you choose to push forward anyway. Resilience isn't built in times of ease. It's forged in fire, in discomfort, in the refusal to back down. So if you want to defeat anything, whether it's fear, failure, self-doubt, or adversity, remember this: the mind you bring into battle determines the outcome before it even starts. Train it, strengthen it, and no challenge will ever stand a chance against you. The outcome of any challenge is determined before it even begins. This is a truth that many people overlook, yet it is the foundation of success, resilience, and personal growth. The battles we fight, whether in our careers, relationships, health, or personal development, are not won or lost in the moment of action. They are decided long before that, in the quiet moments when we choose how we will approach them mentally. Think about it. Two people can face the exact same obstacle, yet one will rise while the other will crumble. Why? It's not about talent, intelligence, or even external resources. It's about mindset. The way you think about a challenge before you engage with it will determine how you navigate it, how you respond to setbacks, and ultimately whether you emerge victorious. The mind does not simply observe reality, it creates it. If you enter a situation believing you are going to fail, your mind will find evidence to support that belief. You will notice every obstacle, magnify every mistake, and reinforce the idea that you were never meant to succeed. But if you enter the same situation believing you will find a way forward, your mind will shift into problem-solving mode. It will seek solutions instead of excuses, opportunities instead of obstacles. This is why high performers, whether in business, sports, or leadership, train their minds as rigorously as they train their bodies or skills. They understand that before they can win externally, they must win internally. The greatest athletes visualize their victories long before they step onto the field. The most successful entrepreneurs see possibilities where others see roadblocks. Their success is not accidental, it is a product of the way they think. Challenges are inevitable. Life will throw difficulties your way, often when you least expect them. But the key factor in determining whether you rise or fall is not the size of the challenge, it is the strength of your mindset. People with a defeatist mindset see problems as confirmation of their limitations. They say, "This always happens to me," or "I knew I wasn't good enough." They surrender before the real battle even begins. But those with a resilient mindset see problems as opportunities. They ask, "What can I learn from this?" Or "How can I turn this setback into a stepping stone?" Instead of seeing adversity as a reason to quit, they use it as fuel to keep going. So the next time you face a challenge, ask yourself, have you already won or lost in your mind? Because that decision will shape everything that follows. Every challenge you face in life is not just an obstacle. It is a reflection, a mirror that reveals not only who you are in this moment, but also who you have the potential to become. Adversity strips away the distractions, the excuses, and the illusions, leaving behind only the truth of your character, your mindset, and your resilience. When life is easy, it's simple to feel strong, confident, and capable. But the real test of who you are comes when things don't go as planned, when failure knocks you down, when uncertainty clouds your vision, when nothing seems to be working. In those moments, you come face to face with the rawest version of yourself. Do you give up or do you fight? Do you make excuses or do you adapt? Do you stay the same or do you rise? Most people go through life unaware of how strong they truly are until they are tested. You don't know your endurance until you're pushed to your limits. You don't know your courage until you stand face to face with fear. You don't know your determination until everything around you tells you to quit, but you refuse. Think about the greatest leaders, athletes, and innovators throughout history. They did not become great because life was easy. They became great because they faced adversity, and instead of backing down, they used it to forge their character. Every time life tested them, they discovered a new level of resilience, a new level of focus, and a new level of commitment. Just like fire strengthens steel and pressure creates diamonds, challenges are the necessary force that transforms you. Growth does not happen in comfort. It happens when you are stretched beyond what you thought possible. A difficult situation forces you to think differently, to innovate, to adapt. A personal setback forces you to dig deeper, to develop patience, to build emotional resilience. A failure forces you to learn, to refine your approach, to come back stronger. Every time you face adversity, you are given a choice. Let it define you or let it refine you. Weakness is not exposed in hardship. Strength is built in it. The most important question to ask yourself when facing adversity is not, why is this happening to me, but who am I becoming because of this? Are you becoming more disciplined, more patient, more courageous? Are you using this moment to become a stronger version of yourself, or are you letting it defeat you? Life will test you. That is inevitable. But what matters is how you respond. Because every challenge, every setback, and every struggle is an opportunity, not just to prove who you are, but to shape who you will become. So the next time adversity knocks on your door, don't see it as an enemy, see it as a mirror, a chance to see yourself clearly, to grow into the person you were meant to be. And when you look into that mirror, make sure the reflection staring back is someone you are proud of. We live in a results-driven world. Success is often measured by numbers, how much money you make, how many followers you have, how many trophies sit on your shelf. But the truth is, those who succeed at the highest level don't obsess over results. They focus on the process. They understand that outcomes are not something you control, only the effort, discipline, and habits that lead to them. Think about it. If you set your sights only on the end goal, what happens when progress is slow? What happens when things don't go exactly as planned? If your entire motivation is tied to an outcome, the moment things get difficult, doubt creeps in. You start questioning whether it's worth it, whether you're good enough, whether you should even continue. And that's when most people quit, not because they weren't capable, but because they were too attached to immediate results. Every champion, every great leader, every person who has mastered their craft understands one thing. The result is a byproduct of the work. Olympic athletes don't train with their eyes constantly on the gold medal. They train with their eyes on each individual workout, each rep, each drill. The gold medal is won long before the competition. It is won in the years of disciplined effort when no one is watching. A musician doesn't master an instrument by obsessing over selling out a stadium. They master it by practicing every single day, even when it feels repetitive, even when progress is slow. The stadiums come later as a result of dedication to the craft. When you detach from the outcome, you free yourself from the pressure of immediate success. You stop worrying about how fast you're progressing and instead focus on improving step by step. And ironically, this is the very thing that leads to the best results. If you focus only on results, you will experience highs and lows that are completely out of your control. Some days things will go well and you'll feel unstoppable. Other days, things won't go as planned and you'll feel like giving up. But when you focus on the process, your success is no longer dependent on external factors. It is something you control. Take an entrepreneur, for example. If they start a business solely focused on making millions, they will constantly be frustrated by market fluctuations, setbacks, and slow periods. But if they focus on refining their product, serving their customers, and improving their business day by day, success becomes inevitable. The difference between those who win and those who don't isn't talent, it's consistency. The best in any field show up whether they feel like it or not. They put in the work, even when no one is watching, even when results seem distant. The mind learns through repetition. At first, replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations may feel unnatural, but over time, your brain begins to accept these new statements as truth. And once your mind believes in your ability, your actions will follow. So rewrite your internal dialogue. Speak to yourself with the same kindness, encouragement, and belief that you would offer to someone you love, because the words you repeat in your mind will become the reality you live. So if you want to succeed, stop fixating on where you want to be and start mastering what you do every day. Detach from the outcome, trust the process, and soon you'll realize that the success you were chasing was a natural result of the effort you put in. What you repeatedly tell yourself shapes not just what you believe, but what you ultimately achieve. The way you speak to yourself, your internal dialogue, becomes the foundation upon which your confidence, actions, and success are built. If you constantly feed your mind with doubt, negativity, and self-limiting beliefs, your life will reflect that. But if you reprogram your thoughts to reinforce strength, resilience, and possibility, you will begin to see doors open where others see walls. Your mind is always listening. Every thought, every self-directed phrase, every belief you reinforce in your head is like a command to your subconscious. If you tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," your brain will find evidence to support that. If you say, "I can't do this," you will struggle to take action. But the opposite is also true. If you tell yourself, "I will figure this out," your mind will begin to search for solutions. If you repeat, "I am capable," you will start acting like someone who is. The most successful people in the world aren't necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who have mastered the ability to control their inner voice. They have learned that confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you cultivate through the way you think. Imagine an athlete preparing for a big competition. If they constantly think, "I'm not ready," or "what if I lose?" they will step onto the field with hesitation, playing it safe, fearing failure. But if that same athlete tells themselves, "I've trained for this, I am ready, I will give it everything I have," they walk into the moment with conviction. The preparation is the same, but the mindset is the deciding factor in performance. Most people don't realize how often they speak to themselves negatively. They say things like, "But." Here's the truth. These statements are not facts. They are simply habits of thought. And just like any habit, they can be changed. Start by becoming aware of your internal dialogue. Every time you catch yourself thinking a self-defeating thought, pause. Ask yourself, would I say this to a close friend? Would I talk to someone I care about this way? If the answer is no, then why say it to yourself? Instead of I'm not good enough. Say, I am capable and I am growing every day. Growth does not happen in ease. It happens in discomfort. It happens in the moments when quitting feels easier than continuing, when the challenge seems too big and when your mind tells you to stop. But the people who achieve greatness in any field, whether in business, sports, relationships, or personal development, are the ones who choose commitment over comfort. They understand that resilience is not built when things are easy. It is built when everything inside them wants to give up, yet they keep going. The problem is most people chase comfort. They avoid difficulty, seek shortcuts, and back away from resistance. But nothing worthwhile is ever achieved in the comfort zone. Every time you choose comfort over commitment, you reinforce the habit of quitting. Every time you avoid discomfort, you miss the opportunity to grow stronger. But when you commit, when you push through the struggle, you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. The best athletes wake up early, train when they're tired, and push through pain when others would stop. The most successful entrepreneurs take risks, face rejection, and work long hours before they see results. The strongest relationships are built not in perfect harmony, but in navigating struggles together. The truth is, discomfort is not the enemy, it is the price of progress. When you lift weights, your muscles tear before they rebuild stronger. When you learn a new skill, frustration comes before mastery. And when you chase a dream, setbacks always come before breakthroughs. But only those who persist through discomfort ever reach their full potential. There will be moments when you feel like giving up, moments when the pain, the doubt, or the exhaustion feels too much. And in those moments, your mind will try to convince you that quitting is the logical choice, that stopping now will make life easier. But here's what most people don't realize. Quitting doesn't make the struggle go away. It just delays it. The discomfort you avoid today will show up later in different forms: regret, missed opportunities, and unfulfilled potential. On the other hand, pushing through that discomfort leads to growth, strength, and achievement. Commitment is a choice you make daily. It's not about waiting until you feel motivated. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. But discipline, that's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. You don't wake up early because you feel like it. You do it because you're committed. You don't go to the gym because you're in the mood. You go because your goals matter. You don't give up on your dreams because things got hard. You push through because you promised yourself you would. The people who achieve greatness aren't superhuman. They simply understand that discomfort is temporary, but the rewards of persistence last forever. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are stronger than your excuses. So commit, stay the course, and when quitting feels easier than continuing, remind yourself, comfort builds nothing, but commitment, that builds everything.